셋, 별. Hello everyone, it is Spellbounder 101 and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, hello, and welcome. My name is Mylia and I am a 19-year-old simmer here on YouTube. So welcome back to my channel everyone, and today I am doing a speed build with the new Growing Together expansion pack. I'm super excited about this build. It ended up being a lot bigger than I ever originally planned for it to be, but I'm absolutely in love with this house and I am so excited about it, truly. So just to give you guys a bit of an overview, this house was originally supposed to be kind of basically half the size that it ended up being. As you guys will kind of see, this house, I did feel like I had the outside of this house like fairly much done. And then I realized, I was like, it's not like the floor plan that I was following, and it just didn't look how I imagined it would. So I did some tinkering, and it took me hours upon hours to get this house perfected to how I wanted it to look on the outside. But once I did, I fell in love with it. So I tried to only use, my original idea was to just use base game and Growing Together so everyone could use this house. However, it was really difficult for me to do that and still incorporate things from certain packs like Parenthood, where you have the activity table and the like scouts board, and you know, there were just decorations and pictures and stuff for the walls. Like, there was a lot of things that I wanted to incorporate that I just wouldn't be able to fit within the like constraint of only using base game and Growing Together. So unfortunately I did use other packs in this build. However, the shell is mainly decorated with Growing Together. So if you have Growing Together and base game, other than maybe some plants, your house should be fine and look the exact same on the outside. It just might be the inside that's missing a couple things. But yeah, so I am so proud of this house. You guys have no idea. Like I said, it ended up turning out so much more different than I ever expected it to be, but I'm absolutely in love with it. And I also developed some new building techniques while doing the speed build. I was watching a Simlessy video while I was building certain parts of this house, and she gave me inspiration to add more details to my houses in The Sims 4, because building in The Sims 4 is a lot easier than in The Sims 3, but I still struggle with it because I'm such a perfectionist. So I still like my houses to try and look good. So it can be a little bit difficult for me sometimes. However, watching Simlessy's video at the same time really did help me, because it gave me some insight into, you know, the things that she does and the things that some of the other builders do. Like, I did not realize that you could place like a porch hidden in the roof, so you could add like a banner around like the top of a wall to separate the roof from like the actual wall itself. Sorry, my phone just went off. It's hard to describe, but you'll see what I mean later on. But yeah, so I just developed some new building techniques, some new like little things. Like, I was able to figure out how to add shutters, quote unquote. And I'm just so excited and happy about how this house turned out. It is already up on my gallery, so you are more than welcome to go and download this house. Like I said, it does still have a bunch of other packs and stuff in it. I will say it is going to be marked as custom content, or like it'll have the CC thing in the top. This does not have custom content in it. I believe the only reason it is registering that way is because I use the OMSP shelf, which it shouldn't. It's not supposed to register as custom content, but I guess it did. So I'm honestly probably just gonna take it out of my game. But yeah, or at least try to figure out why it's doing that. But yeah, so it might be registered under custom content, but just to let you know, there is no custom content in this house. I only used that OMSP shelf and T-Mex's tool mod to like size certain things up and just do those sorts of things. So I know T-Mex, her mods do not register as custom content, but even if they did, it wouldn't change how the objects look, which is great. So even if you don't have tool, your game will still look very much like mine when it comes to like sizing and things. So yeah, you guys shouldn't have to worry about that. So this is how the house was originally supposed to like look. It was supposed to stop right here. As you can see, I'm like adding banners and I'm trying to figure out the roof and like the outside color. And the original kind of thought process I wanted to do was a blue Suburban, but that's so boring because I always do blue Suburbans. Like, I felt like I draw a lot of inspiration from, like I said, Simlacy, Little Simsy, Plumbella, Jessica Pie, a lot of content creators like that. I draw a lot of inspiration from their building and gameplay style. And Little Simsy, basically, she likes to say that she builds only blue Suburbans, but I get so bored of the color blue. So I was like, I don't want to use this. It's so boring. It's so kind of predictable. I want to use something different. And I ended up falling in love with this minty green color that came with the pack, in like, I believe it's the siding or shingles. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's siding. But I love it so much. It looked so stunning. Like, oh my God, was I obsessed with the color of this house. It was so cute. I loved every aspect of it, and I was so excited to incorporate it into this build. So yeah, this house is gonna basically go through a huge transformation. Like right now, you can see I'm trying to put stuff on the porches. I'm adding like the little things above the columns. Like in my head, I'm thinking this is how the house is gonna kind of look. And then I closed up my game and came back the next day, and I was like, this just doesn't look how I want it to. So let me fix it. So this house ended up being, I'm pretty sure, like a 3-day process, which is why this video is so long. And to be quite honest with you, because it is 12 a.m. and I'm absolutely exhausted, I had school and work today, I'm probably not going to film this voiceover all in one sitting. I'm probably going to break it up in between today and tomorrow, but I really wanted to push out all of my Growing Together content this week, just because I'm so sorry, I had to sneeze. I really want to push out all of my Growing Together content this week, just because college registration is coming up, you know, scholarship and like stuff, and it's just kind of stressful for me. I have to put in a transfer request for my job, and it's just a lot. So I really wanted to go ahead and get all of this uploaded for you guys, so that way you have some content to enjoy. So yeah. As you can see, like I said, at this point, I'm thinking that this is what this house is going to kind of look like as a final result. So this is the color. I'm using the new doors and windows from the pack, as well as the new pillars, which I'm obsessed with these pillars. I adore them. I love these pillars so freaking much. But I'm using all the new stuff, and I'm like, yeah, okay, this is what the house is going to look like. So, and you guys are going to notice that I make a lot of those decisions in this speed build. I think that the exterior is done, and I'm like, I want to change it, and then I basically completely redo it. And then the inside, I'm like, okay, this is how the floor plan was originally supposed to be laid out, but I hated it, so I redid the floor plan myself, at least upstairs. And I am horrendous at floor plans. Like, I am so bad, but I tried. Like, I really tried, so please cut me some slack. I'm super proud of this house. I know it's not perfect, but my God, is it such a step up from how I normally build, and I'm really proud of that. So you're probably going to see me typing in a lot of cheats throughout this, just because, like I said, this was a multiple day process, so I did end up accidentally turning some cheats off or closing my game and opening my game again, so I obviously had to re-put in those cheats, and I honestly didn't have the patience to go through and delete those, because it's really not even that big a deal. It's just me typing in cheats. And you're also going to see me flicking organize debug on and off a couple of times. So yeah, don't really worry about that. It's just me trying to find stuff and, you know, make sure this house looks as good as possible, because oh my God, do I want to plan it so badly. I have a personal legacy family that they have a lot. They live in a really big lot, and I mean, that's kind of how I'm going more Sims 3 legacy rules. Like, you have to be on a 64 by 64 lot, and you have to have X, Y, and Z. Like, obviously, I don't have them on a 64 by 64 because that's completely unnecessary, but I have them on the biggest lot in Brindleton Bay, and I just redid their house, and I'm super proud of it, because it was just like, I just felt like building that day, so I just completely built it. Like, I didn't follow a floor plan or anything. I just completely built it, and I'm proud of how it came out. However, because of that, it is still so small on that plot. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that maybe when they have more kids and I need a bigger house, I can use this house. And I want to use it so badly, but I don't have a family to use it with. Now, there was one thing about this house that I did end up kind of not liking, and that's the fact that I built this on a pretty small lot. So like I said, I anticipated this house to be a lot smaller than it ended up being, so I did not put it on a bigger lot, which I probably should have. And because of that, the yards are more like side oriented, like on the left and right. Like as you're gonna see later on the left side, it's more of like the playground and kids area. You're gonna have the tree house, you're gonna have the you have the swing set from the new pack, and then on the left side is going to be more like you're going to have the grill, you're going to have the seating area, you're going to have like the planter boxes, things like that. In the future, I'm probably just going to transfer this to a bigger lot, because in my head I was like, I've already built it, it's fine. But I'm like, not really, because this house would be really suited with a pool and like having a nice, like a bigger back deck than it does have. But like I said, I'm honestly quite proud of this house. Like, I liked the idea of maybe having a slightly more cramped starter home. Well, not starter home, but like a slightly more like cramped family home. Because keep in mind, not all family homes are like this dream kind of middle class / upper class home where you have a big backyard and a big pool and stuff like that. That's not 100% realistic. And I honestly try to keep my game as realistic as possible. Like, I don't use money cheats. I like to keep my game as realistic as possible because it's more fun for me that way. It's a challenge. So like for me, if I can't, like in my Sims 3 game, if I want my Sims to move into a house, I will have them take out a loan with the banking mod. And same with Sims 4. If you don't want to take out a loan, fine, then you're not moving into a new house. Like, it makes the game so much better for me. It's so much more enjoyable. So I usually tend to play like that. But because of that, obviously, I don't really put restrictions on pricing when I build. And because of that, I end up with houses like this that are like $200,000. So, please forgive me for that. I didn't pay much attention to the price. I was just like, I just want to build. So if you're worried about price, then do keep that in mind. But yeah, I probably should have built this on a bigger lot, but I wasn't thinking about it. And at the time, I was like, I kind of like the vibe of a smaller size like yard. Some people do have that. So, if you want to move into a bigger lot and obviously expand the backyard, 100% of course do it. I might even do that myself with, like I said, my personal legacy challenge. I will probably put this on the lot that they live on, which is a lot bigger, and then expand the backyard so that way they can have a pool, they can have a bigger backyard, like the treehouse won't be as cramped. Like, I like the cramped vibe, but like it'll still look good with a big backyard. But yeah, so as you can see, this is kind of when the house starts to morph into what it will soon become. I added on the like extra side bit, and I was adding like plants, and I was like adding terrain paints, and I was, kind of settling into how I wanted the house to look as like the finale. Like, okay, this is how I want the build to actually look on the outside. This is the functionality. These are the fences that I want to use. Like, this is when the kind of final results started falling into place. And like I said, this was a multiple day build, and I spent hours on this build. Hours. Like, literally, I would spend 6 hours a day building. Not feeling like I was forced to. Like, I was genuinely enjoying every minute of it. But like, when I build, I like watch a movie, or I'm watching YouTube, or I'm like listening to music. Like, I will sit there and entertain myself, or I'm like on FaceTime with my friends. Like, I will sit there while I'm building and do other things, which I need to distract me because I'm ADHD and I cannot sit still for the actual life of me. But I also need like secondary background noise. Like, for me, I sleep better with background noise. For me, when I'm like doing something long-winded like this, or if I'm doing schoolwork that doesn't really require me to be thinking that much, like if it's just me taking notes or something, I love having background music or a video playing in the background, because although, like, especially a video that I've watched a lot, because then I won't feel like I'm missing out, and I can still have that background noise and still laugh and whatever, because I know it's coming. So I'm not really, like, when I'm building, I'm very much distracted. Like, I'm not 100%, like, I'm not distracted, but like when I'm building, I'm kind of in two places at once, because I'm trying to build, but also I don't want to just focus on building. But that's honestly the best way for me to be able to sit down for long periods of time and build, because my attention span is so short that I don't have the capability to sit still. To be quite honest with y'all, I'm pretty sure I have ADHD. Haven't gotten diagnosed with it. I don't know 100%, but hopefully we can make a doctor's appointment and find out. But yeah, so again, like right now I'm setting up the backyard. It does not end up looking like this. I do end up changing it quite a bit because, like I said, I cannot make up my mind about how I wanted this house to look. Because of how the new pack, it came with some more traditional items like the fencing, the front door that we used in this build, the sconcing, things like that were definitely more traditional. That gave me Sims 3 Generations vibes, but then they also incorporated some modern aspects. Like they included a modern door. They had a lot of modern like wall paints. So like I'm pretty sure a lot of them were just like almost all of them I think were pretty much wall exterior or like exterior paint. So they were like masonry, it was siding, it was things like that. So it was kind of hard for me to pick a theme that I wanted to go for. I was trying to find a mixture between modern and traditional, but it was a little bit difficult for me to do. So at times I tended to just lean a little bit more into that traditional vibe. But yeah, I tried. Like I said, I'm still proud of this build. I tried. I wanted to incorporate growing together fairly, and I wanted it to seem like this was a very big, loving home for all of the Sims that live here. So that's kind of like just that basic overview. Now there is enough room for 8 Sims in this house. You have the parents' bedroom, which houses 2 Sims. You have a teenager bedroom that I made for a female. You have a bedroom for twin boys, I believe. You have a bedroom with an infant and a toddler crib in there. And you also have a room with a toddler. So that's, let me see, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so you have plenty of room for 8 Sims in this house. I wanted to have 8 Sims in this house because, like I said, it's about growing together and it's supposed to be more of like a family dynamic. So yeah, I'm proud of this house, to be quite honest with you. You could also turn the like the female or like the female teenager room that I did, you could always turn that into like a room for the grandparents. So since you already have so many kids, you could have like obviously the master be the parents' bedroom, and then you could have that secondary bedroom with the second double bed. You could have that be like your grandparents' bedroom, and then or like the mother-in-law or father-in-law, and then you could have the you could keep the kids' rooms, and there would still be 8 Sims in total. Probably 9 if you had like a set of grandparents, like if you had a grandmother and a grandfather, or like 2 grandmothers, 2 grandfathers. If you had that, you'd have 9 Sims, but if you had 1, you'd have 8 Sims, and you'd still have plenty of room for kids. You'd still have a toddler, an infant, a baby, and 2 children, which I love. I really wanted to incorporate everything from every life stage in this house. Just because I feel like we don't get a lot of representation in every life stage. So I wanted to make sure that that happened. Like I wanted to make sure that in this build, your Sims have plenty of things to do for all ages, not just like young adults, because let's be real here, The Sims 4 is a young adult simulator. I enjoy it because I myself am a young adult, so I am living vicariously through my Sims. However, sometimes my Sims don't like it. They'd be like, fam, give me something else to do. So I really tried to make sure there was something to do for every life stage in this house, from elder to adult, from baby to elder. So hopefully I did you guys justice. I will say I did end up going back in to like take screenshots and stuff for like the thumbnail and for like the montage when this like video or this part of the video ends, and I ended up doing a little bit more touching up on the house. Like I had my play sim build the tree house, and then I just like went in and added a couple of other things, like a pet bed and like a dog bed and dog bowl, and so like that you can't have a pet, preferably a dog. Yeah, I just went in and kind of changed and edited more than I intended to. And it ended up being off camera, which is unfortunate because I really just wanted to go in and take pictures. And then I ended up noticing one or two things, went in to fix that. And I was like, well, this space seems really empty. So let me add this and then let me add that. And then I looked down at the clock and I'd spent 3 hours like adding stuff in. So you guys will see that in the screenshots. In the screenshots that I will take, it is the completed full house of like all the stuff that I added afterwards. Do not worry, you will still see those in those screenshots. It's just a couple of the hours are pretty much missing from the speed build because I didn't film it. So my apologies for that, but hopefully it'll honestly be a relief for y'all since this video is already 55 minutes long. And I don't know about y'all, but like I said, I don't have the attention span to sit down and watch videos like this all the time. Like 55 minutes, I cannot sit down for 55 minutes and watch someone build a house. Like speed builds this long, or for me to have as background, I just don't. I need something. I need something to make me laugh. I need something that's like, I need something. I can't just hear and just watch someone build and listen to them talk. Like, it's just like it's never, and it's not an insult on anyone who does speed builds because obviously I'm doing one. It's more of like a me thing. I'm so, like, the best way to describe it, because I am such a like antsy person, and I'm just, it's so difficult for me sometimes. But anyways, yeah. So, you know, kind of with that being said, I kind of want to get into more of like the details of this house. So this is a this is a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, I believe. And like I said, there is like, I should have put it on a bigger lot, but there is a yard kind of on both sides, so you have plenty of activities for your little ones and for your adults. I did kind of take a lot of time on the inside because I really wanted it to be more focused on the fact that, you know, this house is very much supposed to be family orientated, and it was a little bit difficult for me to decorate in some aspects. Like I said, I went back in to take screenshots and I realized there were just some places that didn't have anything in it, and it felt kind of open and awkward, especially downstairs. It was a bit of a struggle. So I did just kind of go back in and edit those. But yeah, so I'm super proud of how this house ended up turning out. I'm absolutely in love with it. I cannot wait to use it. I so badly want to use it in my personal legacy, but they don't have the funds for that right now. So yeah, this house, it's literally like the house that I've always dreamed of being able to build. I'm so proud of it. Like, you guys have no idea. I cannot build for the life of me, and I felt so proud to kind of notice my like abilities in building develop. And although in Sims 4 it's obviously so much freaking easier to build in Sims 4 than it is in Sims 3, I'm still proud of myself for doing that. So here we are, kind of decorating the entryway, and originally I really wanted to kind of place down like the little cabinet that you see I'm placing down here, and you are going to see a lot of the picture frames that came with growing together that you can put your own family photos in. You're going to see a lot of those around the house because I imagine this house to be littered with photos full of like whichever family you choose to play in this house. I imagine these picture frames to be full of those of photos of that family. But I originally decorated this little area with the intention of like making it an entryway, and then I completely forgot that this pack came with a piano, so I did not end up incorporating it. Unfortunately, I tried to find somewhere to squeeze it in, but it just wasn't working. So I did not get the chance to incorporate that piano in this build, but don't worry, I do plan on doing like 2 or 3 more speed builds for this pack. I want to do a more, not beginner, but a more like a smaller size family home that's meant for like either a smaller size family or a family that's kind of just starting out. So like maybe it has 2 or 3 bedrooms. So if it's a parent with 1 or 2 kids, and you know, they're kind of in the in-between stage of deciding if they want to have another baby or not. And I also kind of want to do a decoration of an apartment of like a single parent, because I haven't gotten the chance to do that yet and I really want to. So I also did want to try and incorporate those new imagination bookcases, but it was very much a struggle because it just looks so odd in this living room. So I did not get the chance to do it. But like I said, because I want to do more builds, I'm hoping that I will get a chance to do a recreation center speed build, because I never do community lot speed builds ever, and I really want to try and do a community lot speed build. And I feel like a recreation center would be the perfect kind of start for me, because it is an area that you can incorporate so many objects and items and sections in. And I already kind of have an idea in my head of, I really want to make one that's kind of themed after like a YMCA. So you have a pool area, you have a gym. I want to have like an area where you can have like art stuff, because apparently in this pack you have the ability to host art classes. Like I said, I haven't played with the pack yet, so I haven't been able to test that out. Hopefully it actually is a thing, because I know Plumbella was having issues with getting it to work. So hopefully it actually is a real thing, because if it is that, I would love that. Just because I feel like if you have specific interactions that go with a recreation center, it makes it feel more real. When you don't have that, it feels just like another community lot that you can just do with whatever. So yeah, I really want to make my own recreation center that has like kind of a YMCA vibe. So it has like an art area. I want to have like a basketball area. I want to have like an outside soccer area. I want to have a pool area. I want to have a gym. I want to have like kind of like a daycare area, because I feel like having a recreation center with a daycare would be really good with the I believe it's the Tiny Tots & Co. Mod. If you use mods in your game like I do, there is a mod, I'm pretty sure it's called the Tiny Tots & Co., which is basically like a daycare career, and you can either host it in your house or actually place down a lot that is a daycare, like it's a new lot type with the mod pack, and you can actually go to work at a daycare center and run a daycare. And it's very much like the Sims 3 Generations career, or profession, which I adored. I'm doing it right now in my Generations Let's Play, and yeah, I love the idea of doing that. So I may do that and incorporate all of them together. But I don't know. We will definitely see. I'm not going to make any promises right now, because things are still a little bit hectic, but I really did want to get these growing together videos out for you guys this week, because I know that with my brain, if I don't go ahead and film them, or like if I don't go ahead and edit them and upload them now, I will not do it in enough time, and then it will kind of die off and no one will really still be interested in growing together. And I'm super excited about this pack, so I really wanted to kind of share my thoughts while I could. So yeah, by the way, in case you were wondering, all of like my tiles and my floorings and wallpapers and stuff kind of look a little bit different. Not because they're custom content, but because I have an overhaul mod. I have the Kibby overhaul mod. I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's where I can place them into, like, you can place them in your mod folder, and it doesn't replace, or like it doesn't add anything. All it does is replace the default textures of some objects. So I chose, like, I have some of my terrain paints, some of my floorings, and I'm pretty sure some of my wallpapers as well, being changed by that mod to make them look a little bit less like they do. And although I do love it, I'm in the process of kind of weaving out any and all alpha CC from my game, just because I find myself truly loving how Maxis Match looks in my game, and I have never been able to pick which one I am, a Maxis girl or an alpha CC girly. I have no idea, and it's been really difficult, because every time I'm like, okay, I'm finally gonna sit down, I'm gonna do Maxis Match, every time that I go to kind of delete things, it becomes so freaking difficult, because I'm like, dang, I really like this piece of CC, I don't want to get rid of it. So it's definitely a struggle, and I'm probably not going to take out all of my alpha CC in Creative Sim. I know that for a fact. I love my Creative Sim alpha CC so much, so that's going to be really difficult for me to let go of. Plus, it's like where a lot of my original Sims creators, like CC, I fell in love with, like Nightcrawler and Praline Sims, and all of those content creators started making Sims 3, and when the Sims 4 came out, they made a lot of alpha CC before it was called alpha CC, and I've always been obsessed with those creators, and I kind of don't want to give that up. But I don't find myself going for their hairs or their objects or their clothing anymore. So I've just been trying to gradually, weave things out of my game, just because I already have so much custom content in my game and it takes forever to load sometimes. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It takes forever to load sometimes, so it can get kind of agitating to have to sit there and wait for this game to load into a save for like 5 minutes. So, but also I'm a very impatient person. But yeah, so I'm kind of in that process of gradually weaving out the CC out of my game. But, wish me luck, because at this point, I honestly doubt all of it's gonna come out. I'm probably just gonna leave some of it in. But anyway, here I am adding that parenthood like chores board, and I did have to shift around some of the greenery outside just because it was clipping through the walls, and I did not want that showing on the inside. Normally I kind of don't care, but I just had to fix it. And then now we are on to the dining room. So I did not realize how big I made this dining room. Originally, this part of the house was supposed to be the living room, but it was too small. So I was like, oh, that'll be the dining room. And as I was putting kind of items in, I was realizing, wow, this is kind of a big dining room. So originally I was going to use a really long rectangular table, but I was like, no, I feel like that's kind of boring. And then the pack came with a circular table, and I never use circle tables. So I really, really wanted to incorporate that. So I decided to go with that circle table, but it just wasn't big enough. So I thought that I would add a mini bar in. I do end up taking it out because placement is just so awkward to me. I do end up replacing it with a hutch, and right where those paintings are, the 2 brown ones on the walls, I do end up putting an area for high chairs right there, so that way your 2 toddlers or your toddler and your infant have high chairs right there, so that way you can bring your little babies down and have them eat with you. Like, that's whenever I have a dining room in The Sims 4, I always try to incorporate high chairs at the table because it looks absolutely adorable to me. Like, it makes it feel like, oh yeah, I want to have my toddlers and my babies eat with my adult Sims. Like, they're sitting there feeding them while they're trying to eat. Like, it just makes it a more realistic experience for me. Like, even in The Sims 3, if you haven't seen, there are these custom content high chairs that you can download that give your Sims side access, so you can add those high chairs onto your tables and have your Sims still be able to put their toddlers and babies into them in The Sims 3. And I adore it so much because I love the look of that. It makes it look like there's just this really big family unit and everyone's all together, and it's kind of like a bit of a mess because there are so many kids and everyone's just trying to keep up with each other. And yeah, I imagine these parents probably have their hands really full with all of their babies, but they love them regardless. But yeah, so I was also having a little bit of trouble decorating the walls of this dining room because I didn't want the walls to seem too busy, but I also didn't want them to seem really bare. So this dining room gave me a bit of a struggle, but we do end up getting it fixed in the end. And then next, I'm really trying to figure out what I want to put in this little area by the stairs. This is when I realized that, oh, I'm sorry, I just hit my mic. That's when I realized that the piano wasn't going to fit, and I was upset about it. So we just didn't end up using it. But I added the cork board right there, and I do go back later on and add a laundry hamper and, like I said, the dog bed and stuff like that. I don't think it's in here. I'm pretty sure that's what I did off camera. But yeah, so moving on to upstairs, finally, we are now going to be sketching out the floor plan. So the floor plan that you see me kind of doing right now is basically the floor plan that was on the actual build that I was like following offline, but I was like, no, it just doesn't look right in The Sims. So I was like, you know what, we're gonna take a crack at trying to make a floor plan on my own. And it was a bit of a struggle bus because it felt like there was some of the rooms were too big, it felt like some of them were too small, it felt like there was a lot of hallway space, but I finally ended up ending up in a spot that I was happy with that would enable my Sims to have plenty of rooms, but also not make it look like they were too big and make it seem like the hallway was way too long. Like, it didn't take me as long as I expected, but so I'm happy with how it turned out. But yeah, I did end up just taking a crack at it, and I'm happy with how it turned out. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in lights right now, and then we also, like I said, there is a garage down in that corner, and we do end up decorating that, and I'm super proud of that. I did not know how I wanted to decorate it because it is a little bit of a longer garage, but I realized in the upstairs building process that I did not have a laundry room, and I knew that I probably wasn't going to be able to fit a separate laundry room in. So originally, that what turns out to be the bathroom on the right side of the hallway between those two bedrooms. I was originally going to, I believe I extended it at some point, and I was going to originally make that into the like bathroom slash laundry room, like make it like both. But I ended up deciding to put the laundry room in the garage because I really wanted to like I wanted a full laundry room. Like I wanted a washer and dryer, I wanted counters, I wanted a sink, I wanted decoration, I wanted like a little like hutch area or like a little mud room, so like when you walk in. And I just ended up preferring how it looked in the garage rather than in the bathroom. So yeah, but we are not onto that part yet. We are decorating the master bedroom right now, and you will notice that I end up using these really big curtains in almost every single room just because they came with the pack, and this is when I was still deciding that I was going to do just base game and growing together. And you see I end up changing that because it was a little difficult for me to kind of maneuver, but I was still happy with how a lot of the rooms that I had already built with those two packs came out, so I don't end up changing a lot of those details. But yeah, so now I'm kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do with this odd space, because originally that was supposed to be the bathroom, but it felt like it was way too long, so I ended up dividing it and making this little square area a closet, which again I'm really proud of. They do have an ensuite bathroom. You can see I'm doing that right now. And then in that little square bit where those dressers are, I decided to make them like a custom like walk-in closets like type of vibe. And then I also do end up giving them a dresser just because the room felt so empty. So yeah, this master bedroom I'm really proud of, and it turned out really well, but it is definitely a more upgraded master bedroom. Like it has its own walk-in closet, it has its own master like ensuite. Like this bedroom is definitely basically kind of like a house of its own. I considered possibly making this into a grandparents' room where like they would have their own bathroom, bedroom, and rather than a closet, I thought about making that like a little kitchen area, so that way it's like basically their own like mini apartment. But I decided against it because I'm like, you know what? If it was like their grandparents, it's okay if they have a separate room, and there'd be plenty of bathrooms upstairs, so it wouldn't be that big of an issue. But yeah, so here I am just kind of going through picking out other decorations that I see that I possibly want to put in the bedroom, and also figuring out what I want to use inside of the closet, because I did want it to be a very much unique closet. I love Dream Home Decorator, but I very rarely use a lot of like the closet pieces, because usually the houses that I build for my personal gameplay or that I use aren't big enough for closets. So usually I just plop in a dresser. But then when I'm able to use them, I love being able to build my own custom closets. It's very cool to me. I loved the idea of Dream Home Decorator. I love the look of the entire pack, like the kind of modernized but mid-century vibe. I love Dream Home Decorator so much. Like if there was one like stuff, I can't remember if it's a stuff pack or I'm pretty sure it's a game pack. If there was one game pack that I would recommend, it would either be Dream Home Decorator or Laundry Day, just because I'm one of those people that's obsessed with laundry, obsessed with clothes, like things like that. Like in The Sims 3, before I knew like anything about anything, I kept doing research at like 9 trying to figure out what pack came with laundry. And at first I thought it was University, and then I realized that, at first I thought it was Ambitions, and then I realized, nope, it came with University. So I bought University, and that's probably one of my favorite packs of all time. I love Sims 3 University. But yeah, you have no idea how excited I was to have laundry in my game. I was like, absolutely. I wanted it so badly, and I was so happy to have it. And I know for a lot of people, like in their game, laundry is annoying. I love laundry. It's so odd, but it's like a little detail that I adore. so much. I adore. So here I am trying to make some bedside tables. I was having a bit of an issue with these because I sized them up with the tool mod, so the lamps weren't sitting completely on top and it was bugging me. So I tried to go in and use the OMSP shelf and to get them to like the level I wanted to, and they worked. However, I did end up taking the OMSP shelves off or out of this room. And I can't remember if I did that on camera or if that was a detail that I did off camera. But when you download the house, you won't have that. Like, even if you do have it in your game, I'm pretty sure if you have it in your game, it'll show up. But if you don't, like, the stuff won't move. But I do end up just not using them in the master bedroom on the bedside tables just because it was just not looking right. So I do end up just removing those and just putting the lamps on top and having them cut off a little bit. Because you can't tell, it was just something that was bugging me, that I knew that they looked shorter than they should have been, but that's just my perfectionism coming out, so it wasn't even that big a deal. So here I am trying to decorate the walls of the room and fill in some of that extra space. And it did take me a second, like I said, to figure out because of how long the wall was. I didn't want to add too much, but I didn't want it to be super blank either. So yeah, that was a bit of a struggle. Here we are, we're moving back kind of to the outside of the house, or this is where we start work on the garage, because I didn't realize that I had no entrance into the garage and there was no way for me to really add one except for right where I did, which is at the back of the house. I tried to add one off to the side of the kitchen, but I realized that I had already added like wall decorations and plants and stuff, and it just wouldn't make sense. So I just went ahead and added that door kind of at the very, very back of the house. And it's kind of in an awkward spot, but it's fine. It is whatever. If it bothers you 100%, you can change it, move it, do whatever you wish. I'm a firm believer that if you download my house, you know, it's your game, make it fit your game 100%. So here we are finally moving on to what is going to be the laundry area of the house. I knew that because of how big the garage was, once I had decided to do the laundry room in here, that I really wanted to make it its own area. I really wanted it to have like counters and like a washing sink. I wanted to have like a little hutch or like a little like mud area. Like, I knew one came with laundry day, but I was looking for the one that I believe came with either My First Pet stuff or cats and dogs. I can't remember which one. I was looking for that one, but I was not about to sit there and go through all of the cats and dog stuff because that's an expansion pack and that's a lot of stuff and I don't have the patience for it. So I ended up just using one from Laundry Day. And you can see me adding like a broom, and I'm adding added overhead counters, and I'm incorporating some of those wall details from Laundry Day as well. And then I also wanted to add in a rug because it felt super, super empty. And I had the feeling that like if this was a family or like a stay-at-home mom who had decorated this area, she's like, I need a rug so like my feet aren't as hurtful, like not hurtful. So like my feet don't hurt as badly. Like, I don't know. I just, in my head, I have an idea of like what family lives in whatever house that I'm building. So that way it gives me more of a like idea of how much detail I want to add. So I was kind of going back and forth between these hutches, but I finally just decided to go back to the original one that I had because this was the one that I wanted to use, but it was smaller than I had remembered. So I just ended up going back to the other Laundry Day hutch because it looked better, it filled in the area better. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, but I could live with it. So yeah, here I am. I added in a candle, and then we're kind of shifting back into the kitchen for a second to add that espresso machine that came with Parenthood, and then I came back into the laundry room to finish decorating like the walls and add like some paintings and things like that. I did add some details on top of the washing machine and dryer, like a little bucket and things like that. And then I did end up changing the cars that I have on the inside and outside of the house. My like buy debug was acting really weird. Oh yeah, and I did add a wreath to the front door, but my buy debug was acting really weird and wasn't showing me like the cars that I wanted. So I was just having issues with that, but I had to use the T-Max vehicles mod, and even that was still glitching out. Like, it was only giving me like 2 or 3 cars and they were like the exact same ones. just in different colors, and it was kind of annoying. But I do end up not fixing it, but finding some cars that I liked, and I do end up swapping that truck out and that car out. I don't think that is in the video. I'm pretty sure that I did that off camera as well, unfortunately. But like I said, in the final screenshots, you will see that. So I will say in the final screenshots, you will see that the treehouse has been built, but I did not fully upgrade it because my dumb self didn't realize that you could do that until like later on, and it still took my one sim forever to build it normally, and I don't have the patience to sit there and cheat up their handiness skill and then wait for them to completely build that maxed out treehouse. So it's like, you know what, it's fine. In the thumbnail, it'll just be like a beginner treehouse. It's totally fine. It is okay. Plus, I know that not everyone who will download this house or any other house may not automatically want a fully built out treehouse. Like, some of them want to build the treehouse themselves. So, you know, that's always the option there. So as you can see, I'm kind of popping in and just adding in some little decorations like on that hutch in the dining room, added in the laundry basket. I was adding in like a basket of towels on the floor and a lamp and a bedside table, or decorations onto the little table. Onto the little bedside table that I have in the living room. And then we're moving on to the kind of teenager, like the female teenager's room. So I was imagining that the sim that lives in this room really is obsessed with like kind of a lot of high school year stuff. So they're obsessed with Plopsy and trendy, and they really like boba tea, and they love anime, because I really loved the bed cover that I chose, and I was like, wow, this gives me very much like anime girl vibes. So I was like, you know what, this sim might be really into anime, they might be really into like trendy, they might be really into like crystals and really into like makeup and, you know, things like that. I imagine them to be like a future influencer or like a future fashion critic. So, you know, that's kind of the vibe that I got with this sim, or the vibe that I was going for. Like, they have their little hydro flask and their diary on their bedside table, and of course they have to have fairy lights. I do, and this is me kind of going through figuring out what banners that I wanted to use, but I do end up not using any of these and just doing these. I'm pretty sure it's just these fairy light types, and I really liked how it turned out. But yeah, so that was kind of the vibe that I went for in this room, and I was obsessed with it because I very rarely I tend to steer away from stereotypical bedroom ideas just because they are stereotypical. Like, I noticed that when I very first started building, my brain very much wanted to do like, oh, a typical boy teenager room that has like a DJ booth and like black and red comforter, and like a typical girl room that's like pink or purple and she has like fashion stuff. And I'm like, that's so boring. That's so like everyday. So I wanted to very much include diversity, kind of swap it up, which I know this is kind of like the bad example because this is kind of very much the basic, what you kind of in TV shows deem as like, oh, this is what girls like. But I did also want to include like a couple more like gender neutral rooms, I guess. So this is supposed to be like a single teenage girl, or you could have like twins that share a bed or anything like that. And then you do have a bedroom that has twin boys, and then you have two different other rooms. You have basically a nursery, so it has a crib in it for your infant and a what is it called? A bassinet for your newborns or your babies. And then I also have a room for a toddler. So I did try to be fair and kind of incorporate kind of two girls, two boys type thing. So this teenager room is more for a female sim, or again, you can always change up the colors and make it like, you know, and honestly, like, colors are not exclusive to gender. It's just what my brain is kind of thinking. So 100%, if you want a he, him, a they, them, a she, her, whatever type of sim in this room, go for it. 100% go for it. But I did try to make it fair by kind of splitting it up. So this teenager room is like more pinky and girly, and then the toddler room, I'm pretty sure, is more pink. It's like purpley, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, and more girly. And then the toddler room and the infant or basically the nursery, the room that has the infant and like the infant crib and the bassinet for the baby, both of them are more like, I guess, blue and like more boy oriented in a classic 1999 world, you know what I mean? So yeah, I did try to kind of make it even, but obviously, of course, you can always change up the colors and just redo whatever you want about this house. This is just how I chose to decorate it, because I'm boring. But yeah, so I also would eventually struggle with filling in this hallway space because I realized that, wow, this is a lot of space and I don't have a computer in this house. So I did end up trying to incorporate the new desk and the new like chair. The chairs are so weird because like the swatches obviously match the desks, but they're not normal chairs. But I still incorporated some of them anyway because I was like, I'm not gonna sit here and fight this. Like I want to find some way to try and use some of these new chairs because they are very odd. Like they are very, very weird. So it's a little bit difficult for my brain to kind of understand how to use, but you know, we tried. So here is another bathroom. This is kind of the idea that I went for with these bathrooms is that you have a bathroom by like the quote unquote teenage girl's room. So that may be kind of her bathroom. And then you have this bathroom in the middle, which ends up being like this bathroom ends up being in the middle of the twin boys and the toddler bedroom. So maybe they share this bedroom, and then eventually when the babies or like when the newborn and the infant gets older, they'll share the bathroom with kind of like the teenager in the like anime style room. So yeah, that's kind of how I was imagining it. So obviously the parents have their own bathroom, and then you have 2 additional bathrooms upstairs. And for this being a 5 bedroom house, 3 bathrooms isn't bad. I was trying to find a way to incorporate like a powder room downstairs, but I really couldn't. I had no room. I had already kind of decorated everything out, and I didn't feel like kind of going back in and editing the floor plan because I was quite happy with how it was anyway. So I was just like, you know what, it's fine, it's whatever. So yeah, now we're moving on to the twin boys room. I am quite happy with how this turned out as well. I did end up incorporating a lot of items from Growing Together as well. I did end up incorporating a couple of the imagination like style objects. I'm pretty sure that I used I know I used the like castaway one downstairs, and I'm pretty sure that I used like the horse type one up here in their bedroom. I'm not 100% sure, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I did. And then oh yeah, I forgot to mention that my OBS stopped recording. So that's why I was like, why did this just jump from boys room to toddler room? That's why my OBS stopped recording, because I didn't have enough room on my hard drive, and I hadn't realized it until after I had finished the twins bedroom and started the toddler bedroom. So please excuse the random jump just there. But yeah, I did end up incorporating those imagination items downstairs and in the twin boys bedroom, and just tried to incorporate, like, I used the new toy box, and I'm pretty sure I added in the new bookshelf in this toddler room. And yeah, I was just trying to make it as like give you as much as possible to do, because there are so many Sims in this house and you're gonna want to have a lot of activities to do. Otherwise it's gonna get really hectic, really boring, and just kind of all over the place with having so many Sims in the house, especially a lot of them being children, teenagers, and like babies. So yeah, here we are moving on to the nursery. Like I said, this has an infant crib on one side and the bassinet on the other. My bassinet, I have a default replacement. I'm pretty sure I have the one by by Llama Sims, if I'm correct. I really don't think that I am, but it's a default replacement crib that I have for just the original bassinet. So for you guys, like for me, it looks like this white crib, but for you guys, it's just gonna look like the original bassinet. And obviously you can change that. I was originally going to use like the new like white cradle style one that I'm pretty sure came with Growing Together, but it seemed a little bit too small. And I was like, it just wasn't giving what it should have gave for this specific room. So I decided to not use that one, but I feel like that crib would be a really good item to use in like a parent's bedroom, like inside of like a smaller house. If you didn't have room to add another whole other bedroom, a lot of parents would just add in like a pack and play or like a small bedroom, or a really small crib into the corner of their room to make things easier. I feel like that's what that bassinet would kind of fit better. So yeah, that's kind of my spiel on that. But here I am kind of decorating the walls, and I did want to use that new item from Growing Together, that corkboard style thing, but it's so huge and I was like, it's not gonna look right in this infant, like this nursery. It's just not gonna look right. So I don't know, I feel like it was just gonna look really odd. Like it was gonna fill in too much space, but at the same time not enough. Like it was going to make it look like full, but like not in the right way. Like it was gonna still feel like it was gonna leave a lot of open space, if that makes sense. I know it doesn't, but that's kind of the best way that I can describe it. So yeah, I'm kind of doing some of the last touch-ups. I add like a little kind of closeted area that has like a dresser and like hanging clothes for kids. I'm adding some wall decorations and just kind of going in and adding rugs and things like that around the rest of the house. And we are definitely onto the last details of this house. Finally, after everything, we are finally coming to an end with this house. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys truly enjoyed this. I definitely enjoyed making it for you. I do also end up adding these little bikes for the kids that came with Growing Together as well. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I truly hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, this build will be up and available on the gallery under my Origin ID, Black Bohemia. That was my old ID, under Spellbound. So 100% go check it out if you would like to download. And like I said, it's gonna pop up as it having CC in it, and it doesn't, I promise. It's just the OMSP shelves. But yeah, anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.